What is your hottest pop cultural take?
Hottest pop culture take. I love Taylor Swift. I'm sorry. I'm Team Swift all the way. That's bullshit. The appropriate word is probably malarkey. I want to be the champion for gun safety reform in America. This issue is actually not divisive at all. Being told it's divisive is a tactic by the NRA to make us do nothing. Well, we're fed up with doing nothing. We can ban and buy back assault rifles. We can have background checks. We can invest in gang violence prevention programs. We can do all of that and be on the right side and the overwhelming majority side of Americans and what they want to be safe in their communities. I would have to take out the words used to. My dad used to iron everything when I was a kid. That's just being a police officer, no creases. Even today, even on the road, I'll call and ask for an ironing board and an iron if I feel like my clothes, and sometimes, yes, my jeans are too wrinkled. He had come in as a young police chief in this town in Iowa, and overnight he had seen the DUIs go from like 4 to 40, not because the town had developed a drinking problem because he had come there, but he just enforced the law. This all reached a boiling point when the county fair came, and the fire chief called my dad and said, "Chief, I've got the mayor and a couple council members parked in the fire lane." And my dad, I can just hear him saying this, said, "Well, they broke the law, you gotta tow them." And at the next city council meeting, the mayor moved to fire my dad unless he would reverse the tickets. And my dad held firm, said no one's above the law, and he was fired. And it was my earliest memory that my dad was willing to literally lose his job to do the right thing. I believe firmly that whether you're the mayor of a town in Western Iowa or you're the president of the United States, no one is above the law. I'm the son of two Republicans. I married a Hoosier from Southern Indiana who grew up in an all-Republican household in Pence country. So I don't just reach across the aisle in Congress, I have to reach across the dinner table. 9 years old on a paper route. That was the first time I had to knock on doors and ask people for something, because that was the only way that you could get paid for your route. And it would serve me well 20 some odd years later when I'd start running for office and knocking on doors asking for votes. As a white male, I don't believe that any person's identity should disqualify you. But I also recognize the privileges that I've had in my life that too many people have not. And where I cannot lead or speak to an issue, I promise to pass the mic and find many qualified people who can. I promise to have a diverse cabinet, as diverse as America. And I also promise that I will ask a woman to serve on the ticket as vice president. Serving on Capitol Hill in Congress, I see too often that people of color don't get the same opportunities, whether it's in staff or even to get elected. So I've tried to lead by example on my staff, to have a very diverse staff who serves me and our constituents, but also to make sure in the candidates that I support that diversity matters. One thing people could get wrong about me is that because I'm in Congress that I come from some sort of privilege or some sort of wealth. But actually, if you do the math, if you look it up, you'll see I'm one of the poorest members of Congress because of the student loan debt that I'm still paying off. I met Larry David at a Haiti Relief Fund dinner, and he came up to me and he said, "Swalwell, I heard that you know Richard Davis," who's a comedian. And I said, yeah, like, why? Am I in trouble? Is he in trouble? And he goes, "I just want to make sure he was telling me the truth." And that was it. And he walked away.
Pretty good.
Anytime I'm feeling down or burnt out, I try and, one, just go on a run. That's kind of a way for me to reset, refresh, and reinvigorate myself. But now I've got 2 kids under 2. So burning out is just my daily, because they start around 4:30 or 5 o'clock and they go very late into the evening. My congressional district has one of the largest Filipino-American populations in the whole country. When Typhoon Haiyan had hit the Philippines, that weekend I was just going door to door, knocking on constituents' doors and introducing myself. And one of my Filipino-American constituents didn't really seem to want to talk to me. I said, "Sir, is everything okay?" And he said, "No." He said, I've got these family members." And he said, You're a congressman?" He said, "Well, I've got family members in the Philippines who I haven't been able to get a hold of. Do you have any idea how I can do that?" So I sent a letter to the 5,000 Filipino-American families in my district, telling them how they could reach folks over in the Philippines. Then I went to a Filipino-American church in my district and spoke about what had happened. And I got the idea there that so many people wanted to help, but they didn't know how to do it. So I wrote legislation within weeks of going to the church, and it helped a lot of people who I'd never met, but who were related to people in my congressional district. Never made the news, but a lot of people in my district, they remember that, and I remember what they had lost and what it meant to them. Too often I go against the advice of my advisors and I take up Fox News on their invitations to go on their shows. Look, my advisors have all the reason and the worry to be concerned about me doing that. But I know, one, my family watches Fox News. I talk to a lot of people who stop me in airports or at restaurants and they say, "I love watching you on Fox News." I don't want to dismiss those folks. Sorry, staff. By taking what the president is saying about Nancy Pelosi and distorting and altering videos of her to suggest that there's something wrong with her health,
I understand that it's part of moving your bones as a Democrat to attack Fox News.
What will you do in your first 100 days that you can sign into law? For me, I think it's three things. First, I'm going to lead on gun violence. When it comes to student loan debt, because I have student loan debt and I know the 40 million people across America who do are counting on someone to bring them out of quicksand. And third, when it comes to healthcare, yes, we need a coverage for all plan, and I'm going to lead on that with the public option. But I also want to challenge the country to be the cures leader who brings cures in our lifetime.
Secretary Castro has a question for all the candidates, and that is, will you commit to taking no corporate PAC money, and what will you do to ensure transparency?
My campaign is not taking corporate PAC money, but I think we can do even better than that. I want to be a president who leads us to the day where we have publicly financed elections. We have to scrub from our democracy dirty maps and dirty money that pollutes it. No more gerrymandered, redistricted maps that protect politicians and their friends and their party. That goes for Democrats and Republicans. We should have independent redistricting commissions in every single state. I love my wife, Brittany. She is definitely the smartest person I've ever met in my life. She challenges me to be a better husband, a better father, and just a better person in the community. But she really, really excels at her job. She works in sales, and she takes so much pride in her work. She does it so well, and honestly, the only person who's held her back from probably being the CEO today is me, because she recognizes that the work that we're doing together affects so many more people than just us. Jerry O'Connell, he is really, really making a case on Twitter.
I came here today to take a deal.
Usually get 4, would like 4.5. Go-to karaoke song is probably Country Roads. I'm a country music Democrat, and I'm not apologizing for that.
More 2020 candidates are coming your way. Drop us a comment below and let us know what you'd like to ask them. You can also check out more presidential contenders in our full 20 Questions for 2020 playlist. And be sure to subscribe to NowThis so you don't miss an episode. Thanks for watching.